going on, everybody? Bo here, Condi Systems. I was just saying good morning to Darren. You caught me there in the act. How is everybody doing out there? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got a great show presenting for you all today out there, all the millions of you watching out there in Condi TV land in our Condi Facebook page. Make sure to also like us on Instagram too, because you never know. There could be some content on there that you've never seen before. It is Black Friday week right now. If you are in the present and in the know with the bow, there's a lot of stuff going on at Condi.com. So go ahead, check out Condi.com. Check out the Black Friday sales stuff over there. We've got a lot of stuff, a lot of great stuff on sale over there. You can always email us at sales team. That's SALES. Oh, wait, no, it's just sales. I'm sorry. It's sales at Condi.com. We got to get out of the habit. Sales at Condi.com, SALES at Condi.com. Or you can give us a call, 1-800-826-6332. But today we are going to get one of the biggest mysteries in life. People say, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, in our industry, if you have one choice, do you get the good printer? Do you go with that Epson F570, or do you go with the best press on the market? Now, we have Mike here from Hotronix. He may be a little biased, but I think he's got some perspective on this. So I'm going to add Mike here. Ed to say, what's going on, Mike? How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks a lot, Bo. How about yourself?
I'm doing great down here in Mobile, Alabama, enjoying the 68 degrees and cloudy today.
All right. You're doing a little better than me. I'm up here in the Northeast and we're just under 50 degrees here today.
That's not too bad yet. That's not too bad. So, Mike, do you recommend a good printer or a good press if you had one option?
If I had one option, like you said, I heard you in the intro, I am going to be biased, but my first choice of piece of equipment, it's definitely going to be a heat press, and I'm going to tell you why. Just the extreme versatility that a heat press brings to your business. Now, sure, yes, your printer, they're integral parts. Your cutter, it's an integral part, but at the end of the day, the final step in a lot of those equipments, whether it's, like I said, a cutter, a sublimation printer, DTG printer, at the end of the day, what's that last step? Utilizing a heat press. And so that's what we're going to cover today is we're going to take a tour of our most popular heat press models that we have and just give you the features of those and, kind of give you the questions to ask yourself, because that's really the most important thing you want to ask yourself when buying really any piece of equipment, whether it is a printer, whether it is a heat press. Is what am I going to be doing with it? What types of applications am I going to be doing with this piece of equipment? And the same thing goes with a heat press. Sure, there's a million and one choices out there when it comes to heat presses. So you have your inexpensive import heat presses that a lot of folks are attracted to by the price point. You have, our industrial heat presses that are, by the pros, Hotronix and many other brands out there, that are reputable, George Knight, Insta, all those things. So let's start taking a tour, because really any heat press that you buy in the market, sure, I'm going to be able to do t-shirts, wearables, things like that. No problem. But we're going to take a look at the many different types of applications that you may not even think of that could be done with a heat press. The way I always look at it is if you could fit it flat into a heat press, you could decorate it, right? No matter what it is, whether it's your t-shirts, whether it's a bag, shoes, we have presses made for hats, backpacks, purses, the reusable grocery bags. All those different types of things can be decorated with a heat press using many different types of technologies, HTV, DTF transfers, screen printed transfers, emblems and patches, sublimation prints. So even you could do embroidered patches with a heat press. So yeah, all those different things are going to come into it. So let's start taking a dive into our heat presses. And so first one we're going to look at today is our Hotronix auto open heat press. Now this is a automatic opening heat press, clamshell style, and gets its name because, yes, it opens and closes just like a clam. And now I do apologize because I can only have one heat press running here at the moment. So I'm going to unplug my Fusion, which is heating up. Well, it's already up to temperature, but I just want to plug the auto clamp in just so you can see one of the key features of this. And so here I'm gonna turn her on here. And so the Hotronix auto clamp. Now the model that we are looking at here is a 16 by 20. Now this heat press is available in a few other sizes, 11 by 15, a 16 by 16, and a 16 by 20. And now a lot of folks ask themselves, well, what size heat press should I get? Well, I always go with buy the biggest one that you could afford. You know, because sometimes think about it. Yeah, hey, I'm just going to get that 11 by 15 because I'm just going to be doing little types of things, stuff like that. You know, sure, it'll work, but oftentimes folks get into that. They get that smaller heat press. They outgrow it so quickly that they realize, you know, I really wish I would have got that larger one to accommodate your full fronts, you know, and like, sure, you could do pretty much anything with that 11 by 15, but think about if you're doing teamwear where there's a name, where there's a number that you're going to heat apply. On that 11 by 15 platen, you're going to have to do 2 presses on that smaller press to press the name and then move it around to print those numbers on there. And so in getting that largest heat press that you could afford up front allows you to eliminate that second step where you'll be able to apply the name and the number all in one application. And so here we go. We have her fired up. And the nice thing about this, all the Hotronix heat press models that we're going to be covering here today are all fully digital. So they have digital temperature, digital time, and all the presses that we're going to see here today also have what's often forgotten and not even thought about when it comes to heat printing applications is the pressure that's applied. And so here on the Hotronix, we have our digital time and temperature. And here we also have a figure here, a 0 through 9, that's going to represent that heat press pressure. And so when you're looking at the recipe for your transfer, whether it's DTF, sublimation, all that stuff, it's going to have, hey, here's the time you're going to do, here's the temperature that you're going to do, and then it's going to have a value 20 PSI, 40 PSI, you know, for the pressure. And what's nice in having that readout here is it's going to be consistent across the board of no matter who is operating this heat press, right? You know, so whether it's me that's doing it or whether it's some 6'5", you know, bodybuilder who no matter what it is and what they're pressing, that pressure is going to be the same based off of that gauge. And so then one of the great features about this auto clamp is it opens automatically. So here, I'm just going to engage that press. And now as this timer is counting down, and this is very, very beneficial for, you know, your small shops or maybe a one-man show doing a side hustle where you're multitasking. Once that timer reaches 0, that heat press opens automatically. So that way it gives you that peace of mind, you know, that it's not going to overpress, you know, melt any transfers, burn anything like that, you know, so that way, like I said, if you're a one-man shop or, you know, you're multitasking, you might be answering the phone, you're prepping your next t-shirt or whatever for application, that auto open feature gives you that peace of mind that you don't have to babysit and wait for it there. You know, so the clamshell, a lot of folks migrate to this. This is, you know, this is one of my favorite presses that when I first started in the industry 20 years ago. So the clamshell, people like this one because it's a little more lightweight than a lot. So a lot of times folks are going out on the road, you know, they're taking their press to tournaments or on-site events where they're doing decorating, you know, super space saving, you know, so if you're in tight quarters, maybe you're working out of a, you know, spare bedroom or something like that, your basement, your garage, where you have limited space. So the clamshell is super nice because it's very space saving. If I have to jam it in a quarter, I can, things like that. And here we have it on our caddy stand. So this is an option for the clamshell style, but I do highly recommend if you do get a clamshell style to be able to have it on a stand. And here at Hotronix, we have 2 stands available. This one, based on my camera, but it's on wheels, so you can kind of move it around your shop to where the work is. And then we also have one that fits nicely on a countertop, right? And what these stands do is they make these heat presses threadable, right? And what I mean by threadable is, let me grab a garment here. It's going to allow you to dress this platen. Let's think about if you're putting a pillowcase on a pillow, or, you know, you're ironing a pair of pants and you're gonna dress that. So here we could open up our t-shirt, and then here we could easily thread this on there. And that way you have one layer that you're pressing on. And this is super nice because that way you don't have anything bunched up or anything like that that's going to interfere with your pressure. And what's nice, this is also very, very production friendly as well. So if you're decorating a front and a back, what's nice about this is if I didn't have threadability, I'd have to take this off, flip it back around, and reload it on my heat press. And what this threadability does is I could pull it off slightly. I could just simply spin my garment around, and there, without having to take it off, I'm ready to decorate that second side. And so without that, the threadability, without the stand, the threadability is very difficult just based off of the stand here. So again, threadability gives you even pressure, and you're pressing on one layer, but it also making these optional platens, which we'll get into when we talk about the Fusion, much more easier and giving you a lot more flexibility in what you're going to be decorating. Do you have any questions, Bo?
No questions yet, Mike. So if anyone has any questions on the Hotronix, what is that? The 16 by 20 auto clam, which is also known as the STX 20H,
STX 20, yes. Yep. STX 20, yep. All right. So here we got the next press that we're going to review. This is our 360 IQ cap press. And this is the bee's knees when it comes to decorating headwear with heat printing. Now, hat presses have been around for, like I said, I've been here for 20 years in the industry. They've been around just even longer than I've been. And, they worked. It allowed decorators to decorate headwear. But with the older style cap presses, you ran into a lot of issues when it came, because now with a vast array of the different sizes and types of headwear, if you've got a bigger trucker cap or something, similar to these here, yes, I could use any cap press to put a transfer on it, but the finished product isn't ideal, because oftentimes what would happen when using a traditional cap press is if the cap was oversized, it would leave a crease in that, or it would also, because most of the time your hats they're constructed out of polyester. And what happens with polyester when you introduce it to heat? It's going to scorch. So that dreaded heat press box when doing any sort of polyester garments, sometimes very tough to avoid on a traditional heat press. So those were the biggest challenges, the creasing and the scorching of that polyester on the caps. And so we took all of that feedback and, in industry knowledge here and developed the Fusion, the 360 IQ. And so the design of this heat press is what makes it super unique, right? Is here we have a molded platen here that's going to accommodate nearly any type of cap on the market, and it's going to fit nice and snug on there to eliminate any of those creases that you're going to see on an older style cap press. And so, but the beauty of
can we touch on the warranties on these on the Stahl's Hotronix?
Yeah, sure. I was going to do that at the end, but sure, yeah, we can definitely do that.
We got someone here asking of the warranty on the touchscreen.
Perfect. So the Hotronix line of heat presses, and what I mean when I say the Hotronix line, that means the Autos Clam series, the 360 cap press series, and the Fusion series, including also the Air Fusions, as well as the dual Air Fusion with the ProPlace IQ. So those, all of these heat presses come with a premium Hotronix warranty. And so that consists of a lifetime warranty on the heating element. That's obviously what's heating the heat press. So there's a lifetime on that across the board on all of these heat presses. 5 years on the major components, and 2 years on, the circuit boards and things and the electronics of the heat press. So excellent warranty out there in the industry, giving you the peace of mind when it comes to owning a piece of equipment such as this.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Perfect. All right. Any other questions while we paused?
No, that was it right there. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. And so one of the best features of this heat press, and two, unfortunately, I can't turn it on due to power constraints here in my little demo room. This here, and we have a fully digital touchscreen control board here. So again, and we'll be able to highlight that a little more when we look into the Fusion. But here, so it has a digital time and temperature, and it also has that pressure display that can all be adjusted here on a touchscreen by using your fingers. It comes with a little stylus pen as well. But also in the Fusion IQ control boards, which are on all of our Fusion IQ models. You could pre-program settings for yourselves as well. So if you're doing sublimation transfers, screen print transfers, DTF transfers, vinyl, so you could pre-program all of those settings within the control board here. So again, very, very useful if you have multiple operators using these heat presses, or if you're like me and forget everything that you just read yesterday, right? So there it allows you to pre-program all of those settings into here. So that way you don't have to have a dry erase board or your application instructions stuck on the wall over there. So you could just simply come in here, select your settings, and pick whatever type of transfer that you're applying. Boom, it's going to set that time, temperature, and pressure, for that particular choice there. So super time saver there. Again, not having to clutter, not having to remember. It's all programmed in here for you. And what's also nice, and what a lot of folks, and I'm even guilty of doing it myself, is forgetting about all the back-end stuff that the Fusion IQ technology has. So what's nice about the IQ technology is it's a cloud-based software. And so what that allows you to do is that allows you to track all the production that you've done and applications that you've done with a particular heat press, right? So again, what's nice if you're just a single user, maybe you're a higher production shop and you have 3 or 4 heat press operators. So with that IQ technology, you could assign a user for each heat press. So maybe there's 4 users on there. And you could track each of those production numbers. Hey, this guy did 15 applications in 30 minutes, right? The next employee did, 20 applications in 10 minutes, right? So you keep track of all that, so that's a nice little feature that often goes, not often talked about, which can be super important to, those higher production facilities and, see what production is going through. And so that's the control board. But the best thing about this heat press is it has top heat and bottom heat, right? And what that does is that's going to eliminate that scorching that happens on polyester, right? So it creates a perfect marriage of the temperature from the top and the bottom, to ensure you're going to get a proper transfer and application onto the hat, but also prevent that scorching. So what you could do is you could set the top platen with a heat of, let's just say, because typically polyester starts to scorch around 280 degrees. So most applications, you could have that top heat press platen set at, let's just say, 270, 275. And then typically the bottom one, it's usually around 320, 325. Now, again, those settings could change based off of the particular transfer that you're using. Screen print, sublimation, there's so many different ones. So you just want to check with that transfer that what those settings are for a top and bottom heat press. And so when doing that, you have the higher heat focused on the inside, the lower heat focused on the top. So that way, what that's doing is that's going to eliminate that heat press box. And again, those two temperatures, when combined, creates that perfect marriage to give you that quality application and that long-lasting transfer. And also the design of this is super nice. So yeah, traditionally, you're going to be decorating, to the front of the cat. But, I always encourage with heat printing, the more applications that you do on one piece, on one item, the more profitability that goes into all of that, right? So here, yeah, you have your general application. Hey, this application is going to cost $4, right? But hey, why not personalize it? Hey, do you want to, and maybe this is a baseball team, you want to put your number on there, or you want to put something on the side? This allows you to easily decorate all areas of this cat. So we could decorate the front traditionally, but I could easily spin this one around if it's nice and snug, where I could do something on the side. Maybe I want to flip it all the way around to the back and do something on the top. So a lot of possibilities there to generate more profitability into each item that you sell. Okay. And then this one's great too. Just like the Hotronix Auto Open, the 360 IQ also opens automatically once that time cycle is over. Any questions on that one?
No, I think we're good on that. But on the warranty, what part is the screen? Is that the 2-year part?
Yeah,
for the warranty.
So the screen that falls under the 2-year electronics.
Awesome. What's your favorite kind of hat to do in there?
For me, I mean, probably the most popular out there is the Richardson line. You can't go wrong with those. But I'm kind of old school too, so I do like some trucker hat applications. You know, like I said, with all the different styles of patch options that are available, you know, you could get any kind of hat and you could really boost that quality with so many different options out there as far as patches and what could be applied.
Now you can do the brim of it on there too, but you could also do the brim on a flat press too, right?
Yeah, so the brim, yeah, yes, you can kind of fudge it on here and kind of hold it yourself to do it, but decorating the brim of these hats, and I think I have one of these here. I'm not sure if we have it, but what's nice is we make optional heat press platens for doing the underbill and
Oh,
even so you could actually place a hat under a flat press, and the way it's designed is there's 4 notches around the corner. And I'll take a look in our closet here to see if we have it. But basically, what happens is it would set. You could change this out, and I'm going to highlight the optional platens here when we get
I
to the
guess I was
final.
getting ahead of you, wasn't I? I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
that's okay. But yeah, that press, and it basically allows it to sit in here, and then you can put a transfer on the underside of the bill, because a lot of times the kids these days, they don't bend their hat bills anymore like we used to. They might wear them up like this, so you could have some other applications underneath here, for branding opportunities, and again, just additional placements for logos. Again, additional placements of logos and decorating areas, just adding more profitability that's going to go into those things that you're producing for people.
I always thought that the like a hat press is really great for baby onesies and stuff like that that you can get on there because they have a lot of seams, and seams are HTV's biggest enemy.
Oh
That's
yeah,
their kryptonite. So
a-
you can get it on
absolutely.
there and isolate those seams. Left chest can work on there too.
For sure, yeah. Cat press, yeah. It was designed and developed to decorate headwear, but it is super versatile. Bo, you hit it right on the head. I mean, a lot of different areas. So, let's just say I want to do maybe a sleeve print on this t-shirt. Rather than trying to get another platen or tape a transfer on here and stick it under a larger heat press, I could just simply tape my transfer on here, and then I could just drape this over there so I could have that easy press on my sleeve. And I've seen a lot of applications for sleeves, but also, pants, shorts. Maybe you're doing something in the back. Maybe the cheerleaders or dance teams, they have things on their backside. So yeah, definitely a lot of opportunity to utilize this for different applications outside of hats.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
All right.
So
So
did you unplug the other press?
yeah, I plugged the Fusion back in. I almost forgot, but thank you for the reminder. But yeah, so moving into our final press, and this is probably the best seller out of the Hotronix line across the board, which is the Hotronix Fusion IQ. And now this is a 16 by 20 only, so it does available in that one size, but as I mentioned, when we get into this, there are optional platens that you could utilize for this. And what's nice about the optional platens with Hotronix is they work across our entire line, from the Hotronix Auto Series, even the intermediate unit, the Stahl's Max line. All of our different platens are all interchangeable across all of our heat presses. So a great feature there for all of them. But here, the Fusion, like I said, it is the most popular heat press out of the Hotronix line for a variety of different reasons. But to me, the most important reason and what makes this so popular is the extreme versatility that it has. Like I said earlier, any heat press you're going to buy, you're going to be able to easily decorate standard wearables, tees, hoodies, things like that. But the Fusion and the design of it, and the ability to maximize the use of those optional platens gives you pretty much endless opportunities of what you could decorate. Like I said, anything that you could fit flat in a heat press, you're going to be able to decorate it, and the Fusion makes that possible because of the design and the features of it. And so the design of it is the most important one for me and the best feature of this Fusion. And so the design of it is 100% threadable without any stands or any other accessories to make it threadable. So here, this is a nice cantilever design, so you have 100% threadability here to accommodate pant legs, backpacks, little pouches, anything that you could imagine, you could fit in there. And they're super easy to change out. And so there's a quick latch underneath here, right here. You just unlatch it, And then if I want to take this out, again, this is the 16 by 20. That does come standard with it. But what we're going to do is we're going to highlight a variety of different platens here just so you can see those. And so you see, very small base, super simple to change out. And so first one, I'm going to dress in this one here, it's called our tag along platen. And this is quickly becoming the super favorite in the industry for a couple of different reasons. So here we can see the design of it. It helps. It's kind of got that cutout of a t-shirt. And really what this does is that helps the operator to get that t-shirt on there perfectly, right? You know, because with that front edge, maybe you have it tilted over to the side a little bit, to the left or the right. You know, so again, that could lead to offset or transfers or misplacements, you know, that you didn't catch because of it wasn't lined up properly. So here, all this is our little post casting here. And we're just going to drop that in there where it originally was. And then we're going to lock that in. And so the nice thing about this one too, is a lot of companies these days, they want to create their own brand. And so here we have this little area where we could put a tagless label on the inside of our apparel along with the transfer on the front easily. So let me grab a blank. And we're going to take this same black t-shirt. I believe this is what am I pressing today? This is a Gildan Performance tee. And so I'm going to open this up and here, thread that on there. And then as you can see, with that cutout design, you know, I have that t-shirt placed on there perfectly, you know, with those cutouts and things. And so here I'm able to press my transfer here. We're going to do an application here. What's nice is now with this area, and most garments these days, you know, they have the tear away tag here. So I'm going to tear that off. And then what we're going to be able to do is pull that back in and place it over that little pad there. So we're going to be able to put our branded tag inside of this piece of apparel and press our transfer at the same time. So let me go grab a couple here. Here we have, this is just a basic DTF transfer here that I'm using today. So we're going to place that on the front. And then here, you know, similar thing with just a little ram here, but just think of this as, you know, if you're a company, maybe your company name, the size info, stuff like that, whatever you want to put on those tags, you know, because most transfers, whether it's screen, maybe you're sublimating these, you know, you can include whatever type of information that you want, but I'm just using this logo here today because that's what I have. And so here, I'm going to use a piece of thermal tape here just to hold this one down because it's buckled up a little bit. So I'm going to place those on there, slide this in, and that's another nice feature of the Fusion. So as you can see, it can operate as a pull out. So here, but it's also, now I'm limited on space, and that's why the draw feature is important too. So like I said earlier back, if you're limited in space in your shop, a Fusion, you can't just kind of stick, well, you can, but before the draw press was introduced, here, like I have a little shelf here that's stopping me from swinging that. So just think about, hey, I only have a quarter to put it in. You have to accommodate that swing, you know, so maybe you can't fit it there. But now with the ability of the draw, I could lock the swing mechanism in place so it doesn't swing, and I could just simply pull that out to me. And having the swing away and also the draw, it's a lot of folks like this because then too, they're no longer working under the heat. So it's 100% free, heat-free workspace, making it ideal for placement. Maybe you're doing pre-cut letters where you're placing each and every individual letter. So that way I'm not under that heat. And if you're anything like me when using a clamshell, you know, I've burnt my fingers countless amount of times, you know, trying to work on here. You're always under that heat. You know, so a lot of folks like the swing away or the draw feature, you know, just for safety reasons. And it's a lot more comfortable in placing those transfers there. And so here, application. So the Fusion touchscreen, just like we had here, we talked about with the 360, completely digital, time, temperature, pressure. Again, the same presetting options. So you can plug in all your transfer types that you apply. Simply easily select those from the touchscreen based off what you're transferring, and also that IQ production tracking as well. And so application, super simple. And once you have that in place, just simply pull this down. And then now this one, it does not open automatically, but as the timer counts down, it will give an audible beep. The screen will turn green, letting you know it's time to open. So super easy to open. Timer's done. We're going to open that up. I could either swing this away. I could pull this out and there, simply remove my carrier. And then now I have those applications here. Let me just slide this off, get a little close up. And so here we have our transfer, kind of tone on tone there. And then we have our branding here on the inside of that garment there. So great way to do multiple applications for that branding. So any questions so far?
Hey, Mike, is there any thing going on in your development side that you can share with us on maybe a tag along in the youth size?
Well, the good news is I don't know if we have anything in development of that, but we do at Hotronix have the ability to do custom platens. So Bo, you have customers like that. That is always an option where if they need a specific shape, maybe a triangular platen for something, Hotronix, we do have the ability to create custom platens for you as well as your customers.
Awesome. Krista, hit us up, condi.com or sales at Condi, 1-800-826-6332, and we'll get that custom tag along in youth for you.
Yep. And so what's great is, like I said, we highlighted the tag along. Again, that's quickly becoming my go-to with it rather than the standard one, but there's so many other ones as well where I'm going to highlight the most popular. So the tag along, that gives you the ability to do that personal branding and things like that. But another versatile one is the 11 by 15. This is ideal for doing youth garments and sometimes smaller women's garments, things like that. So here, super simple, pop it on there just like this. But what I like best about this one is when you're decorating, hoodies that have, let's just say the kangaroo pouch, right? It's so very tough to get a nice flat, even surface to put that transfer on in the middle because of the pocket, because of the hood strings. You're going to have to either use pads or pillows if you don't have the ability to change this out. Now, sure, that works, but again, that's just adding more production time and loading that pillow, adjusting pressures or because to accommodate the thickness of the pads and things like that. So yes, it can be done, but adds to labor. So if I want to decorate a hoodie, what's nice about this one is I could actually turn this one horizontally, lock it in, and we have a hoodie here. And we're going to take a look at this. So here we have on this particular one, there's the kangaroo pouch, but here it also has a zipper. So again, that's going to be difficult without pads or pillows to avoid pressing over that zipper, possibly melting it, but taking away from the pressure that should be exerted on the transfer, right? And then we also have the hood. Now, this one doesn't have too many strings or anything, but it still has, the seams and stuff that, again, is going to take away the pressure that should be focused on the transfer itself. And so with our 11 by 15, I have it tilted horizontally, and with the threadability, I could open up this hoodie, place it on my platen here, and then here, be able to pull it down. So all the seams and things from the hood fall below. The zipper, the kangaroo pouch, it's below the other side. So here I have a 100% flat, smooth pressing surface to place my transfer or decorated item on this particular hoodie. So that way, with that flat surface, again, ensuring adhesion and long-lasting durability there. And again, if you didn't have that, those seams could cause some failure of transfers. Sure, it might stick initially, but maybe the corner doesn't apply, or you put it in a wash, wasn't enough pressure on it, falls off. So great for giving you that peace of mind. And again, that versatility. And one last thing I'd like to highlight is, can you decorate, knocked over my platens, but that's okay. Can you decorate shoes with a heat press? Absolutely, the answer is yes. So I'm going to grab the last platen here. And there are a variety of different platens that are available in different sizes, right? So here we have our shoe platen. So kind of weird looking here, but we got these two wings here that we're going to be able to put our shoes on. So again, just simply drop this in where you did the other one. And let me grab a couple pair of shoes. And so here, now these are already applied, but how we do that is, so here we have just some logoed apparel, here on the side. I've even seen folks put a name down the side or the back here, so again, branding opportunities and application opportunities on both sides and on the back, and depending on the shoe, a lot of other areas. So here, how this simply works is we're going to take our shoe, and then we'll just slide this one on there, just like that. And then there we have, let me do it this way. There we go. That's better. Doing it the wrong way. So there we have that. So our shoes on here, I'd be able to take this next one. You know what? I'm going to do both shoes at the same time. So just load those in there, place your transfers, whatever they may be. And now most shoes, like these are Chucks, they're just a canvas-based material. So pretty much anything's going to work on those. And then just slide those in, and then lock that heat application down to decorate shoes. And so these work great for, like I said, we have Chucks here. I've seen used on, various types of cleats, from soccer cleats, football, baseball, so really any type of shoe. Hey, that's just another opportunity for branding and another item to sell to your customer. And so here today, we covered our most popular brands or most popular styles of heat presses. So we do have a line of heat presses that accommodates, the home crafter to the extreme startup business, the intermediate units, the professional units, and then we also have some higher production models that are part of the Fusion family. And so same idea that you saw here with our standard Fusion, we also have air operated Fusions as well. And so again, air operated, geared more towards higher production, mid to high volume production. Again, air operated heat presses, completely push button operation, automatic close, automatic open. With the swing away, they swing away automatically. So again, production saving time. And not only that, it's a lot more comfortable and a lot less wear and tear on the operator. Because you might not think about it, but let's just say you're in front of this heat press 8 hours a day. Boom. Boom, boom. That's going to wear out in your shoulders. So if you're doing that, the air operated ones, a lot less user fatigue, because again, simply push button, closes automatically, opens automatically. So we have a tabletop version of the Air Fusion. We have an Air Fusion on a stand. Again, same kind of control boards. Threadability is the same as that you saw on the Fusion. So great models there for if you're starting to press every day, all day. Definitely want to consider those air operated ones for fatigue, and higher production speeds as well. And then we also have our dual air fusion with the ProPlace IQ. So the dual air fusion, what that is it's a dual station heat press, right? So one operator could essentially operate 2 heat presses quickly, right? So think of what's the benefits of a dual station. You think about when we're doing a heat application. So I lock that heat press down. What am I doing for that 15 seconds? I'm just sitting here waiting for it, or I'm prepping my next garment, getting my transfer ready for the next application. So with a dual station, let's just say I have my first station. I just place my garment on there, my transfer. I'm applying it for 15 seconds. I have my next station free right next to me where I can put that garment on, place my transfer. So when that 15 seconds or that cooking is done on that first station, I'm already prepped and ready to go for that second station. So it could shuttle automatically over. You can manually shuttle it however you want to that next station, heat applying that one, and then I'm back to that first station doing the same thing. And once you get into that nice rhythm, we've seen a lot of folks that are using this 40 to 45% increase in decorated number of garments because of that. There's no more downtime now. I'm working while that thing's cooking on those single heads. You're waiting for it to be done. So that pretty much sums up. So really, Bo, I'm open for open discussion here or whatever else you all want to cover.
Yeah, that was great. If you guys have any questions for Mike, me, Condi, whatever, let us know right now. If you're watching in the future, go ahead, type in something and we'll get back to you. But I think, Mike, you really covered some great points there. And, to tie all this together, I asked you in the beginning, what's more important? The heat press, the printer, the technology, what's the most important? And I think you answered it with one of the warranties in there. You're going to spend some money for a heat press, sure. But the one warranty you said is it has a lifetime platinum warranty on it. So that means, that heat press is essentially, it may need some parts here and there over the years, it may need some maintenance, but that heat press, the main part of it is going to be there for your life. So you're going to buy one heat press, there's the cry once, buy once, cry once saying, and that goes there. I'm not sure a printer is going to last as long or keep up with technology like a heat press is, because a heat press is simple technology. It's
Mhm.
what it is. It's heat and pressure. That's really all it is when you break
Yeah,
down to it. So I could see, now this is everyone out there's crossword puzzle, their own business, and they can have their own opinions on it. But I could see how a heat press, a valued heat press, could be your first investment. And I thank you for that information.
yeah, absolutely. And that's also another attractive thing about heat printing, right? With all the other, equipment options out there, super easy to learn. Really, I could have somebody trained on a heat press in 30 minutes, right? Think about bringing in a piece of embroidery equipment or, a big wide format printer. That's going to take some time and training on folks on how to operate that. Really, like I said, super easy to train somebody on a heat press. Yeah, some of them you have different price points of it, but in general, the investment is pretty affordable. When you think about it, when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and you said at the end of the day, you said that I'm not gonna say these are your exact words, but you said at the end of the day, the heat press is the most important because it's the last step. And that really reminded me of, at the end of the day, I'm gonna go get in my bed at the end of the night, and the more comfortable my bed is, the better I'm going to sleep. So with a
Hmm.
heat press, the better your heat press is, the better you're gonna be able to sleep, because you know that your design is going to be applied correctly.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's every printing technology, every transfer technology. Whether it's DTG, if you don't have that pre-treat cured properly, that white ink's not going to stick, right? You don't cure
Yeah,
that ink at the end of the day enough, it's going to wash out. And just like transfers and stuff, hey, you don't apply them at the right temperature, right pressure, they're going to fall off in a wash, or I could pick them off. So
yeah.
it's super
And
easy. The recipes that you can program, all that stuff, super simple.
the recipes, I like to just throw things in a pot in the kitchen and feed it to my wife. But when you're going out there and you're doing this commercially, you can't really do that. And
Right.
I can't remember all those recipes. I can't remember all that stuff. That's a lot
Yep,
to remember. So it is like having a second, an assistant of some sort,
for
there
sure.
with all of that information stored in there. And you can even put in new information as products grow and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Super easy to edit them too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been
Well,
in,
thank. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I said I've been in countless numbers of shops over the years, and just saw how people operate heat presses sometimes. And they'll have their heat press that maybe they're doing a screen printed transfer that goes on at 360 degrees. And then they'll switch to HTV or they'll switch to something else. But I never saw them adjust the temperature on their machine. I'm like, so you're using the same application time and temperature on everything? He goes, yeah, I never had any problem before. And then you always get the call from those customers. Hey, you said this thing was going to last 50 washes. My customer said it only lasted two. Well, you're not following the recipe. You're just thinking one setting fits all, or it doesn't.
Test, in the HTV world, test cuts, test cuts, test cuts, and in the heat press world, you got to know your press. You got to play around with it. You got to fiddle with the pressures. You got to see what works, what doesn't work. You know, and as your press ages, or from day to day, you might have to adjust certain things in there just slightly.
Hmm.
Due to humidity or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
you know. But the last thing you want is, you don't want your designs falling off your shirts, and
That's heck no.
Hotronix has that locked in. And another thing you mentioned too that a lot of people don't talk about is pressing in your house. I don't know what an average bedroom is. Maybe it's 14 by 16, something like that, 12 by 14. But
Hmm.
most likely that heat press is going to end up in a corner or something in a room. And that's where the drawer feature, is that what you call it, the drawer feature?
Yeah, draw, drawer, yeah, slide
You
out,
know,
pull out. Heard it a variety of times. We call it draw. That's our lingo here at Hotronix. But yeah, But yeah,
That
ideal
really
for that.
helps, if you can't have the swing away feature work in a corner, because if you
Mhm,
look at it, a 16 by 20 press, you're gonna also need 16 by 20 kind of next to it to pull the press out, so you're
mhm.
looking at whatever that math is there of
Yeah, so like
space.
here I could slide this one out. So here I got it locked. So let me unlock this here. So I can unlock that, and now I have that. Now I can swing it all the way out. So you need an additional, what is that? Yeah, about another 20 inches or so to
Yeah, so you're
accommodate that
looking at
swing.
48 inches, you're looking
Yep,
at like 4 to 5 feet of roomish area, maybe, I don't know, that's terrible
yep,
math right there, but,
yeah,
um
we get it.
yeah, and another thing too is you saw that Mike move that thing. It is on the Hotronix equipment cart, I believe
Ye-
is what that's called. And
Yes,
that thing probably weighs 80 pounds. It definitely weighs more than 72 pounds. So and it's awkward. So a cart is very handy if you're going to be moving it around a little bit. And you saw Mike move that very easily. There was no grunting or any sort of strain
yeah,
with
no.
that.
Yeah, so it's on wheels and there are locks on the wheels. So once you get it to where it is, you can lock those wheels in where it doesn't move it. What's nice is there's a crank on the back end, so you could adjust the height of that as well. So I'm a shorter guy, so I can accommodate for me, but if somebody taller, you can raise it up a little more for that comfortability. And speaking of that, you know, where you want to have your heat press, you want to have your platen here at about waist level. So that way you're not reaching all the way up here. You have a nice where you're not stretching to be able to lock those down.
I always think about those guys when I see some people doing it. I think about those motorcycle guys that have their handlebars way up when
Uh-huh.
when 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 shorter people are pressing, and it's like, oh man, you got to lower that. You got to lower your press just a little bit to make that
Yep.
easier on yourself. And
Yep.
uh,
Absolutely.
that's one of the cart. There's one of the only ones that you can raise and lower, I
Yes.
believe.
So the cart you can raise and lower, and the floor caddy for the clamshell models that could be raised, and
Oh, it can.
likewise the air fusion on the pedestal stand, you could also adjust the height of that as well.
Yeah, because I used to work with a girl that was, I think she was 5'1" maybe, and I'm 6'1", so that foot difference in between us, there was a
Oh yeah.
difference.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for everything, Mike. This was great. Hotronix is great. We love Hotronix presses, um, from hat presses to the flat presses to the futuristic ones and beyond. Stahl's Hotronix, Condi has heat presses and hat presses for everyone of every budget size. So, yeah, thank you. We appreciated this.
And make sure that you come back tomorrow for the Black Friday specials on Hotronix.
That's right. Tomorrow, you're not going to want to miss that. 12 o'clock tonight, they go live. So check out Condi.com, set your alarm, wake up early. And yeah. Well, thank you, Mike. I'm going to
Absolutely. Appreciate.
thank you, everybody, for watching. That was Mike from Hotronix. You're not going to want to miss the Black Friday deals. So go to Condi.com, check those out. Email us at sales@Condi.com. Give us a call, 1-800-826-6332. We found out a lot of great things about Hotronix. Those was the auto clam, the 360 IQ and the Fusion IQ. Look at me. I said those all without messing it up. There are great heat presses, great heat presses. You have any questions, you know where to find us. Check out our Black Friday deals. And we did learn that Hotronix can make custom platens. So yeah, let us know if you guys have any questions on that. And I'll be seeing you later for more things. We do have Creo coming up, and we do have Vincent from DTF Station. So stay tuned for more Bo Condi Systems. I'll be seeing